What's going on, y'all? It's Jay Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video. At the death, last minute, about 2 days out from the event, I am getting off my Riot predictions for Kane Bearing Gifts 2. Solid event, you know what I'm saying, a bit top heavy with three of the COTY WOTY battles that fill that theme, right, that makes this card what it is, why people are excited, and obviously a lot of undercard work. Some of it I'll talk about a little bit longer than others, you know what I'm saying. But, you know, I like Next versus Clone, right? There's some good top battles, but there's just a lot of talents on there. We all know that focuses on the top three battles. It's going to be a jam-packed weekend. Follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is always in the description for every video. I don't really I'm not like, oh, follow me here. You know what I'm saying? If you guys fuck with the content, you'll follow me. But I'm going to be doing live updates for RBE. And then for the Riot, we'll see. Definitely for like the main half of the card. Don't know how active I'm going to be for that first half. Hopefully I'll be fully active for both events, but especially for RBE tomorrow and for some of the top battles on the Riot. Go to my Twitter, man. I'm going to be giving live how I feel, a little bit of jokes, a little bit of updates, things like that. But without further ado, let's get into my predictions for the Riot event. So, starting from the bottom of the card, So Severe versus Black Aladdin. Fairly familiar, you know what I'm saying, with both their names. Not too much both of their footage. From the little that I have seen them to go So Severe, 2-1 has a little bit more. Shastafa versus Despot. Haven't heard of Despot, but have heard of Shastafa. Believe he battled Chef Trez recently, too. Does a lot of work, you know what I'm saying, in the local circuits and things of that nature. I'm going to go with Shastafa, 2-1. Bad News and Wise is a battle that's actually been talked about, both of them promoing heavy. There's supposed to battle on Midnight Madness. Bad News has been a little bit better in recent years. I can't lie to you. As someone that's been a huge Bad News critique, I think there was a point that he had some of the worst content in battle rap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just real OBC or just not the greatest bars. I think he's cleaned a lot of that up, and his delivery's always been star-like. You look on the other side, Wise is like the craziest resume for someone not on big leagues. Geechee, Tay-Rock, JC, I mean, the list goes on and on. A little more battle tested versus the best. Him and KD had a crazy battle. I want to say that Bad News is the more polished and like the safer pick to go with here, but in a bar heavier environment that the Riot and that smaller room has been, I am going to go Wise 2-1. I think bar for bar is a little bit more creative, so in that battle it's going to give him the edge, but a Bad News 1, I don't think that would shock me too much. Justice versus DI to Henny Man. Look at Henny Man on one of these big cards, man. Shout out to the Trappers. Shout out to Henny Man. I'm going to be going Henny Man 2-1 over Justice. Justice is good. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too bad to say about his style, but I just think it's like Western, a little bit of real talk, mostly punching. You know what I'm saying? I think Henny Man, even though his last performance in the Riot left a lot to be accounted for, I thought he was really bad versus Snake. I thought that was a really terrible battle on both sides. I do like when Henny Man gets in his real talk bag a little bit, though. So for that reason, I am going to go Henny Man 2-1. Another one I could see going either way. Li the Mayor versus Top 4 Lut. Familiar with both. Obviously, Mayor's cool people. Is always rolling with Geechee, always rolling with EFB. And Lut's been making a little bit of a name for himself, as Top Floor Crew has at a Philly. I'm not the biggest believer, but he did do pretty good in the one-rounder versus Danny. I'm going to go with Lut 2-1, just because I see people a little bit more impressed. There's a little more uniqueness to his sound, respect to Mayor, but if he was a dominant battle rapper, you know what I'm saying, he's had his opportunities. I just think he gets decent plates, and I think Lut just has a little bit more in terms of that, in terms of talent to get the win there. Blue Cocaine versus Capo Bravado. Capo is going to win by a lot. I think Capo is really good. I know that he just took the loss to Hustle on home, but he was even pretty decent in that. Pardon self. But I think I just think Capo's fire, you know what I'm saying? I think he has a lot of potential at these early on in his career, and I think in a matchup like this versus someone like Blue Cocaine, doesn't outside too often, doesn't have too high of a peak. I think Capo should easily win that, and then you get into the top three on the undercard, which are pretty names. Chef Trez versus Fouet Dev, similar to Capo winning by a lot. Chef Trez will win by more. I just think Dev has a hard time putting rounds together cleanly, and even when he does, I don't think he's wordplay lies. What did he say versus Reverse Live? The iron knee, meniscus shot. Chef Trez 3-0, man. You know what I'm saying? Chef Trez 3-0. Hansel versus Eunice, interesting matchup here. Old top six, right? This that we've been watching versus who's going to be the new top six. I'm going to go Eunice 2-1. I just think he does a little bit more bar for bar. I think Eunice is mad creative. Hansel could be more seasoned and pull off the W here, but I think it's really going to appreciate the straight bar for bar in that room. Could be one of the better battles of the card. I'm going Eunice 2-1. And finally, Next versus Clone, the best matchup here. Extremely debatable if you ask me. Don't know who to pick. Both of them power punchers, adding a little bit to their game as they go, and pretty good pure rappers. I'm going to go Next purely off of the home field advantage, but actually really excited to watch this one. And that was 8 battles in 4 minutes, and now we get into the top of the card, right? The big 3 battles that have pictures and everything. And the first one to talk about is Chilla Jones versus Vixen the Assassin. The last one added, you get the 2020 Champion of the Year versus the 2020 WOTY, if I'm 100% correct. Should be, or is it 2020, or is it the 2021 WOTY, I believe it was. Either way, Chilla and Vixen don't battle. Matchup-wise, it is obscure. It is a little bit strange. I'm not going to lie to you. But since it did fit the theme, and I think both of these talents are good, I think Chilla, even though he's been sitting down a lot more, especially I think after he won COTY, he had really the worst year of his career. Isn't that suck when he had the best year of his career followed by the worst year of his career? You go from bodying K-Shine, even though technically, you know what I'm saying, that folds into the next year. We go from bodying K-Shine, great battle with Twerk, beat out in volume, to getting really showed out on by Rock on Gnome, losing to Emerson Kennedy, and then having one of the worst battles of the caffeine era with Sirius Jones. It was a flip. I think he's a little bit back on track. His Klutz battle was good. Vixen needs a goddamn win. Vixen needs a win. Hopefully she can at least make this one debatable. It's the same pit style as the last Riot event that had Nitty and Ward. So I think punchers, do get a bit of an advantage there. Wouldn't shock me if Vixen won, but hard to bet against a pro like Chilla. I just think that even though Vixen really needs a win, when you're desperately in need of a win, I don't think Chilla is the easiest guy, especially one that's motivated to get locked on. One of the bigger cards Chilla's been on in some time, and he's been angling a lot more. He's been in that bag. I'm sure with Vixen making her OnlyFans, it'll be funny to angle it down. It's really a good thing, man. Shout out to Vixen. Shout out to Yes. I know that's what everyone was saying when she made one, but I think Chilla's just a little bit too well-rounded, a little bit too much of a vet. I think he's going to be taking this one 2-1. Hope Vixen wins, to be honest with you. She could really use it, but I am going with Chilla with the win here. Next to talk about is Jazz the Rapper versus Rum Nitty. What an incredible battle this is for me. Clear battle of the night, battle of the card for real, although it's not going to be the main event. The bunch of different ways to look at this one. First of all, Rum Nitty just battled on SM, so a week from going from there, right there to battling Jazz, right? It is cutting it close. Now, he did say he was writing simultaneously for Jazz and Ace, leading up, you know what I'm saying, to the Ace battle. And then he said, what did he say? I wrote around in 12 and a half hours, no filler, Jazz, I'm in my big bag. So he's promoting a little bit, throwing a little bit of shots at her, trying to put the pressure on her. Jazz knows what it is. She has the utmost respect for Rum Nitty. And then as for Jazz, she is the best woman of all time, more likely than not, right? There's a few different ways to argue it. I think that there's people that argue 40 and Hustle as well, but I think the Jazz, one, beating both of them, you know what I'm saying, that definitely helps. And just the career she's built outside of that, 2-0 versus the men so far in terms of these are Battle Shuffle T, but in terms of like the top tier, Geechee and Clips, they weren't the best battles though. I don't think that anyone took those battles crazy serious. I think Jazz and Geechee was like decent. I think her and Clips is terrible. I think Rum Nitty is going to be the most locked on talent out of all of them that's really going to be trying to get after and get a W. On top of that, you could think he's better than Geechee and Clips right now, as many people do. I mean, he's coming off a COTY year, this run, many people were talking about him getting into that picture again, and just being the flat-out best bar for bar right now. More of a pen than a puncher than he's ever been in his career. A lot more of the elongated concepts talked about over and over. It's going to be tough. I think traditionally Jazz's style would counteract Rum Nitty's all around, can relate with the crowd a little bit more, land haymakers in a couple different ways, but Rum Nitty's just writing has counteracted stuff like that. Versus Ace, he had that same game plan too. I thought while Ace was great, a lot of Rum was able to like write right through it, right? So I do have Rum Nitty 2-1 over Jazz, but to me, this is the easy battle of the night, the most exciting battle on the card. And that leaves us with the main event of the night, and that is Geechee Gotti versus Coffee Brown. Grudge match, right, of all the story that they've went through. Coffee really being with EFB and really holding them down for the most part. It's kind of crazy now, right? Now Hustle's that first lady EFB, and then the beef they had, and it just goes to show how things can change in battle rap over a couple years. The RX situation about fighting, not wanting to fight, that she was doing funny business, you know what I'm saying, with the Riot, causing Geechee issues on that note. So many, they believe it was the Coffee A-board battles. So all these different things, you know what I'm saying, when it comes with Coffee and Geechee, and we're expecting to talk about it. We're expecting this to be a bit of a messy battle. We're expecting a bunch of crazy talk either way, people exposing things of that nature, but we're also expecting good raps from two of the better battle rappers. Everyone on this top 3 part has won a COTY and a WOTY, so obviously these are two of the best of their craft on either gender. And I will say, although Geechee, similar to Nitty, has a lot of battles around this time, he's going to be battling, I believe 2 weeks from now, he's going to be battling Easy the Block Captain, right? Does not change the fact I have Geechee Gotti 3-0 clear as hell in this battle. I just think he does all facets of battle rap. Shout out to my guy Tito, you know what I'm saying, Tito KMF, all about the battles on YouTube. And he says he does everything. She don't rap better than Geechee. She don't perform better than Geechee. You know what I'm saying? He gonna say she don't dress better than Geechee. All that craziness, you know what I'm saying? But in reality, when you get into the actual parts of battling, there's just not a lot that she does better than him. He's an incredible angler, and with the information that we're expecting to be in the battle, the messiness, we all know that Geechee's one of the worst people you're going to go against when it comes against messiness. He's gonna pull it off in a very disrespectful way with wordplay. He's gonna make it haymakers. He's gonna make it a spectacle. In terms of the just punching, I think that she could match him a little bit. I don't think either of them are the craziest writers, but Geechee's been in his bag lately. And then just in terms of real talk, connecting with the audience, one of the best all time in that note. And those are 3 of the most important aspects of battle rap when you get down to it. So hopefully if Coffee's able to put a round of enough messiness together and kind of shock the crowd, maybe tell them something they never heard, true or not, you know what I mean, if she's able to sell it, she could get around, but I just think Geechee's been too locked in. If you see the way, I'll say it again, if you saw the material he gave for news, not bad news, not good news, just news in Philly, it's hard for me to not see him being that level of good, if not better, in these top matchups, and why I have him winning this battle damn near by a body bag margin. But I'm calling it 3-0 for Geechee, and I'm hoping that Coffee's able to prove me wrong there. But that is the full Riot card. That is my predictions for it. A little bit quicker because obviously 8 of the 11 battles don't have too much, breakdowns for it. Funny enough, it's battles to 3s, right? The 3 of the top undercard matchups are pretty good when you get to Chef Trez, Fawet, even though Chef Trez win that pretty clear. But Hansel and Eunice, Next and Clone are good battles. And then you get into the 3 above that, the top 3 of the card, and it's the COTYs versus WOTYs. Good theme, should be a long event, you know what I'm saying? But definitely be tuned in for those final 3 battles no matter what. As for, getting on caffeine, I like the caffeine's been picking up a bunch of different other battle leagues too. I think that helps with the all-around battle rap look on it. People love all battles, you know what I'm saying? So with all these mega cards, it was a smart thing to do. And you guys let me know in the comments down below. I think for most of us, Nitty versus Jazz is going to be that most looked at battle in terms of competitiveness level and things of that nature. But what are you personally looking most forward to on the Riot card? Any unexpected results, any upsets? Let me know your hot takes in the comments down below. And like I said, follow me on Twitter. I will be doing live updates, giving all my takes, and giving takeaways from the event in live time. Who wins? How does this change things of that nature? But it's been Jay Small Reviews again, y'all. As I said, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to catch you on the next one, man. Peace.